So as I said, feel free to express yourself and don't be silent, okay? Because most of the time I'm ending up talking alone. So page number 150 till 2 till 4, okay? And the next page, next slide. Have a look at this one. So this 3-page, particularly they're talking about the tiger, okay? So looking at the tigers in art. So before we start, have a look at this word origin. Word origin. And automaton is a sculpture. Automaton is a sculpture. What kind of sculpture is it? Sculpture.
What do you mean? What means sculptures?
A sculpture is like a more like a statue, not like exactly. Sculpture is kind of, you know, the curve and shape, some sort of object. Okay. So for example,
Okay.
huh?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Automaton is a sculpture with moving parts, not just the sculpture. What does it have? It has a moving part, okay? It derives from the ancient Greek word automatos, also related to the word automatic. For example, we in daily life we use word we use a car, right? Car is automatic car, mechanic car that we are talking about. Why they call it automatic? Because it moves itself, right? So the root is from Greece, which is automatic. But what does it mean? It means that moves or acts on its own. That's what it means, automatic, automaton. That moves and acts on its own. You see that? Okay. So now here,
Yes.
the Raj is from Hindi, from the Hindi Sanskrit word kingdom, government. And you know that the Indian part, they use this word Raj a lot. Raj is that they're a goddess, or astaghfirullah. So sorry to say that, but they say they believe this is a Raj is a god. Like in ancient Egypt, they used to worship in the sun, right? Do you remember? So in Indian Hindu religion, the Raj is goddess. Okay, that means it's a kingdom or government.
Okay.
That's what it means. Kingdom or government in there.
Government.
Okay, let's look at the next one over here. Here. Let me take a picture of it, and then I will clear it. Something like here, next page. Look at this one. You see this picture again? Again, this is the picture of a tiger. Here,
Yes.
yeah, but here, this is a Japanese artist painted. This one is a painted tiger with ink and silk. Ink and silk. Ink and silk, okay?
Okay.
Because I'm looking for this. Ink, and they draw it on the silk by ink. There were no tigers in Japan, of course. It doesn't exist in Japan. But the artist, unlike what we have seen one real life, for sure he drew, that means that he drew this tiger through his imagination. But more than that, in the picture itself, that the artist included this bamboo. You're going to see this picture as a bamboo. Do you see this one? Here, the bamboo tree, bamboo kind of tree. This is bamboo leaves. See that? This is kind of
Yeah.
symbol. This kind of
Yes, I see.
this is symbol. It's bamboo, the symbol of strength. That's what it means. That's why the Japanese artist, he drew this picture through his imagination about the tiger, but Japan doesn't exist. But I have a question now for you guys. What is my question? My question is that what strikes you about the tiger's posture and expression? What does it mean for posture? It's when the position, the way he's taking, what way he's moving, what is he's about to do. and expression. So what can you tell me about this? When you see this picture, what do you feel about this tiger? What is it about? What comes to your mind when you see this tiger and its
condition.
position and
Yes.
pose, let's say? Okay.
Tiger.
Like,
He looks like hunting a human.
looks like going to hunt a human. Okay. Why did you feel in that way, Dua?
And
Based on
how
what?
she's looking.
Huh?
How it's looking, his eyes and
Because
Yes, yes.
based on its way of looking at. Okay, this is very good. This is expression. That's how we understand, how we express that each artistic each art. For example, when you see the picture, poster, or pose, or any statue, everyone has their own way of feeling, way of understanding, interpretation. So because the way of looking at you, you feel like it's going to hunt you down. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What about anything else you'd like to add, Zakaria? What about you? Do you want to add anything? Like the
Looks like
or the way he's walking? If you see the fang, what does it mean, fang?
it's
That you see that those two
fan.
come out of the mouth? We call it fang. Okay. So what do you feel when you see this picture?
I feel like
Okay.
he looks scared because of the look his face like
Because his face looks like
I know
what?
but I looks of his face is scared.
Face. Do you think it's his face looked
I know
scared
but I don't know how to say it in Arabic. In English.
in English? So maybe maybe he looked like ready to fight,
Yes. He
ready
is fine.
to fight or strike. Maybe, right? If you see that the eyes, the mouth, and the paw, it looks like about to attack you, strike,
Yes.
fight or strike. It's ready to fight or strike.
To attack.
Yeah, that's how you feel, right? Okay,
Yeah.
very good, very good. Okay, so now let's move on to the next drawing, next art picture over here. Oh, here. So now, what do you think? Where do you think this picture is from?
For his
If you see the way of the style, you see this clothing, his clothing.
yes.
Where does he
Yeah.
look like? Where does he come from? Where is this picture?
India.
Ah, yes. Okay, it looks like it's from India.
And
Okay. So what else? Based on that, what? For example, this is holding a snake. The way it's dressed, hat.
it's from hundreds of years.
It's quite looks very old, right?
Yes, looks very old.
Okay. So now look at this description. It says here. This scene from Legend of Ghazi. That means this is the Legend of Ghazi. He must be called as a Ghazi, right?
Yes.
Riding a tiger is a part of 57 panel scroll painting. Wow, it must be very long painting. You see, 57 panel scroll painting. The scroll, the picture is a scroll, telling the story of local Bengali king, which is the Muslim saint, local Bengali, who fought demons and dangerous animals and had power over tigers. That's what it means about this picture, you know. Because how do you know that? Because you see this here, the snake he's holding
Yes.
in his hand, and also he has looked like he's riding a tiger. That means he has fought against it, made it his own right. Okay.
Yeah. I
So,
understand.
Yeah.
so he's a Bengali people. He was a Muslim saint, but
Yeah.
this is more like Hinduist side. More, that Indian side, they express they love to express their mind, their thoughts through the art, through their sculpture, even through their dance and singing. So it's a very expressive picture. It must be that. Okay. So now question here. Why do you think this saint would be of interest to people from southern India and Bangladesh? Why? Question is, why did, why do you think the saint would be interested in of the people southern India and Bangladesh? For example, as he said here, they said that he is a Muslim saint, right? He said
Yes.
but why he's interested in the southern part of India and the Bangladesh? Why do you think is that? Why they have been interested in that part of the world?
Because they love do these things.
Love to do what?
These things like riding tigers.
Love, or maybe they dream to. Maybe
Gee.
they dream to ride a tiger.
Tiger.
Okay. And
And,
Dora, what do you think?
The
Ed?
same, I think.
Okay. Do you
Because
remember that the first part of the story, previous picture, we have said that Raj. What does that mean, Raj? It was their kind of,
name
it was a kingdom
his
and, oh, sorry, kingdom.
them God.
Yes, kingdom and government. This more like their, sorry to say that, okay, but they, God. I think this is the main reason they loved by this southern India and Bangla people.
Yes.
Okay. So do you have any other point to add?
no,
I don't know.
So I think this is
No.
the main point, right? So
Yes.
basically, let's put them in a sentence because in those parts of the world, people, they believe, uh, believe in, believe in Raj, right? Which is
Yes.
their
Them God. God.
religious God to worship. To worship. This is the reason I think we think that this part of the world they favor this saint, which is the Muslim saint. Okay,
Yes.
so let's
Okay.
go on. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next slide.
okay.
Okay. Here, this is another very interesting sculpture over here. So the Tipu's tiger was made of amusement as well. Tipu tiger. Okay. Tipu tiger was made for amusement of Sultan Tipu in the 18th century. It's been made for his amusement. But the Sultan himself, Sultan who was also known as the Tiger of Mysore, Tiger of Mysore. They call this Sultan what? He also known as a Tiger of
Sorry.
Masari. And Masari led a war against British occupation. At that time, do you remember that India was for a long time the colony of Britain? you know the history. So it was he led the war against the British occupation of his kingdom in southern India. So he was the leader of his southern Indian people's
نقدم سلطان.
war. But the tiger is automaton. What is automaton? As I have explained earlier in the first slide, something moves its own.
Oh,
Yeah. For example, we drive the car, automatic car. Mechanic car is different.
yes.
Each part of your hand, you have to change the gear, you push your feet and stuff. But automatic car, once you put in the gear, that's it. You just need to accelerate on it.
Yes.
So something moves on its own. So it has a miniature organ.
Like if
Below
something,
inside to mimic the groans of a dying British officer. What does that mean? This part of sentence, Dua, Zachary, what do you think? It says here, this part of it is inside the blue box. What does it mean? Below inside the mimic, inside to mimic the groans of a dying British officer. What does that mean?
like
That means, what does it mean, mimic? If I was
mimic. We talked.
yes, if I would say, oh, you're going to say, oh. So you just repeat after the other person or something after. So
Yes.
that means inside there's some machine must be inside, right? That one mimics the dying officer's voice. For example, imagine that you are imagine that some animal is dying and biting the human on the neck. What kind of sound that person will make?
Like when mimic, it's mean like
Screaming and
when
groaning. Yes, it would be screaming.
when one do something, you do like him.
Yeah, groaning. So this mimic sound is the mimic sound. Mimic. Okay, it's okay. So the mimic, the groans of a dying person. Okay. So the question over here. Why do you think it says about the Sultan's attitude to the British Raj? Why do you think it says about the Sultan's attitude to the British Raj? Remember the Sultan Tipu? Also, they called him that in 18th century he was to make him amused. They made this for him because he was the leader of a war against the British. And but this tiger that if you look at this picture, this tiger, when you press it or I don't know, when you open it, it makes sounds of a dying British officer, like groaning, or help, or screaming. Okay. So, Dua, what do you think? Dua, are you there?
Yeah.
So, in this part, they use the word automaton. What does that mean in this part, automaton, in this picture and in this script? What does it do in this, let's say, in this sculpture? Tiger is an automaton. What does it mean?
Can I say it? Or?
Yes, yeah, sure.
It's like work with itself
It
automatically.
It's safe to make the sound.
Yes.
Which sound? The dying British sound. A British soldier. Okay. Okay. So this is that's what we can say in this part. So let's move on to the next slide. Over here. Now look at this one. A tiger in a tropical storm. Surprised. Can you see the tiger's expression on its face? This one. Can you see it? Huh?
Yes.
Can you see the expression of this tiger on its face? It says
Yes.
a tiger in a tropical storm. Tropical storm.
Yeah.
Surprised. Painted by French artist Henry Rouget, I don't know, sorry, Rouget in 1891. The tiger painted by German artist. Yeah? German artist
Okay.
Frank in 1912.
Yeah.
Use a more abstract approach to color and the line. Both artists visited the zoo to see the tigers and Rouget. Created his image of jungle from the display, created this image from the jungle displays he saw in a tropical plant house in Paris. So where did he get this picture from? This image, he can find his idea from the museum in Paris. He saw the tropical plant house in Paris. So my question is here, how do these paintings suggest the inner nature of tiger? How do these paintings suggest the inner nature of tigers? That means natural behavior, or natural behavior while they are in nature. How could you express that? Based on what?
The tiger.
That the tiger somehow
Yeah,
is
the tiger. The tiger is feeling like this, like because you don't have to let them do. They
okay. Why does? How can you see this tiger is in this scared on a surprised position? Based on what?
He take the attack.
Do you see anything attacking it?
No, he will attack.
no.
Look at the picture itself, that the plants and the tropical plants and trees. What kind of movement can you think of?
Yeah.
For example, there is lightning. Can you see that at the back of the picture?
Yes.
And what else can you see? I think that, it has a storm. Why is that? Because you can see that the plants leaned
Yes.
to one side. Okay. So what else? So that makes us think that tiger is in escaping and condition in order to save himself, because it's more the natural.
Yes.
So now think of it. How do these paintings suggest the inner nature of tigers? For example, this one, and what else? That means animals are depend on
themselves. Nature.
condition. Do you think? Right?
Yes.
Animals are depend on any animal, including tiger. Animals are depend on nature and its condition. If it's weather is at a terrific condition, they have to escape,
Condition.
to run away. If the weather is at the beautiful and the grass, they are in a peaceful position. If the food is gone, if it's not raining, the raining season is coming late, or there's the drought, that means they will be in very harsh condition to almost to die. So everything is related to the nature. That means
Yeah.
animal life is related to the nature 100. Okay. So now,
Okay.
okay. Now we're going to write here something. What are we going to write? For example, I'm going to write here my Fatima. Okay, work of art. Here, what you're going to do here, work of art and artists. For example, that we have seen, I have showed you plenty of pictures, right? As well as on your book. So you're going to choose one of those. Which picture you're going to write? And then, why did art make impression on you? For example, which picture you are impressed most about? And then, another question you're going to write here, why are tigers an important subject in art? So which one would you choose to write, for example? For example,
Any animal, like any animal.
no, not those tiger pictures which we have now to observe.
Second one.
Second one, which is that the Sultan, I mean the guy they riding a tiger.
Yes.
Okay, so what?
Yeah.
That was in, I mean that which is Legend of Ghazi. Okay, Legend of Ghazi.
Ghazi.
Which is a black color. So why did this particular work of art such an impression on you? Why? For example, for me, he was a Muslim, and his feature
was
is attracted by
from a tiger.
Indians.
Indian.
And
Your voice is not clear.
Okay. Bangladesh.
Yes.
Bangladesh. People. Okay. How do we say Bangladesh? I don't think so. Okay. We need to check this on please. How do we say, for example, India, Indians. Bangladesh,
Yes.
Bangladeshian.
Bangladeshians.
We need to check this and make sure is it correct or not. Okay. So he was a Muslim, but his feature that he is riding a tiger is tiger is attracted by the Indian and Bangladesh due to, let's say here, due to their religious belief. The religious belief. Okay, now, why are tigers an important subject in art? But for example, the Japanese, they did it. India did it, even in and the British. And as well as in that the tropical, that the German artist also, he drew the paint. The tigers as well. Why? Drawing tiger that much. Maybe, let's say, I think tiger symbolizes strength and power, maybe. Okay, so I wanted to, Dua, Fatima, Zakaria.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want you to guys to write like this on your own. Okay, you're going to write
Okay.
on your book. You have to write it. Okay, and then now I'm going to show you here the next slide here. Over here, sorry. Here, writing a comparison. You're going to write a comparison. Compare and contrast two works of art. What do they say about human attitude to tigers? Okay, so what are you going to do here? Compare and contrast the style of painting or sculpture that we're going to choose. And then, how realistic is the representation of each tiger? Which one is more real?
Okay.
You're going to choose two pictures of those tigers. And then
Okay.
you're going to choose, and then you're going to write about it. Style of the painting and style of the painting. Okay, style of painting over here and sculpture, and then how realistic is representation of each tiger.
Tiger.
How do they show that a tiger moves and behaves? What did they say about it? So, and also you can tell what are the artists saying about human attitudes to tigers? Where did the artist get their information from? Okay, so you're going to write your own writing comparison. Based on those two main questions, you're going to make it two. Let's see, here it is one. This is it. That part is, for example, here. This part is going to be your topic. And then you're going to say about how another paragraph about it. And then also you can another small paragraph about this one. And then this another part. That means basically 3 or 4 small paragraphs. Or if you can put them together in one paragraph as a general, it can be fine as well. So please do this writing on your own. Please send it to me through my email, okay?
Okay.
So any question for today's lesson?
No.
No.
No? Okay, so I think that's it for today. And see you next time. We have another lesson again, right? After the break, I think. No, 4th lesson.
No, they know.
Do we have 2 English?
No, we have math. This.
Math, and then I have English.
No, it's only 3. You know, today is only 3 lessons.
No, I think it's one lesson because I have a 4th lesson with you guys. Please make sure.
It's not written here.
Let me see. On my schedule, you have English in 4th lesson, writing lesson. You have it. Because maybe you haven't updated your schedule yet. Because first the schedule, there was a mistake. And then they attached another, another schedule. Don't forget to have a second lesson. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so see you next time.
See you.